Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. It is Thursday, September 18th, 2025. It's good to be back to the regular equipment, definitely the superior audio recording equipment. And I keep trying to get my wireless DJI mic system to sound at least somewhat more similar to this, which is a Shure SM7B. And I'm still tweaking it, man. Audio is such a tricky thing. But it's also really important. I don't know about you, but I've listened to podcasts before where just the quality of the audio is enough to make me, turn it off regardless of the content because it's so nagging to hear different sounds. So I have a lot of respect for audio technicians, and I will keep working on it as we move forward. I don't intend on turning this into an interview show or anything. It's more of a daily journal meant to inform and inspire and just give you a little positive boost as we go into the day. But what I learned doing this can be applied to many other things, including a new podcast that I'm working on. So more on that later. I hope you're well wherever you may be. I left the country for just a brief period and came back and marvel at how quickly societies move and how quickly things change. And so they can change for the worse and they can change for the better quite quickly. So I, without commenting on the specifics of what's going on or putting a value judgment on it, it just feels like every time I leave and come back, there's just such massive change here in the U.S. And I pray that our freedom, our democracy, and our relationships, are able to survive all of this. And I think the jury's out. I'm not sure where we're going. But in the meantime, we do what we can to build great relationships, make our communities better, contribute in meaningful ways. And so that's what we're all about. Temperature-wise, let's see. It is, I think, going to hit like 80 degrees Fahrenheit here in the New York City area. Lovely day. We're definitely into fall. Japan was, my God, it was humid. And I definitely was not acclimated to the humidity. The time, it always takes me about a week, but the humidity takes longer. And it really affected my energy levels, I have to say. It was very hard to be energetic in that much humidity. I don't know. It really slows me down. How about you? Are you affected by climate? Are you affected by humidity levels? Do you thrive in the heat and humidity? I mean, I suppose there are some people who do, but I am not one of them. Although having lived in warmer places over my life multiple times, I do find that you do adjust to it to a great degree. But I just love fall. Fall is just absolutely beautiful. So returning to another tradition, I don't know why this town came up today, but I wanted to see what was going on in Santiago, Chile. And today, well, at this very moment, it's 53 degrees, but the high today is going to be 70 degrees, sunny. That is 12 degrees Fahrenheit. Actually, it's 12 degrees Fahrenheit now. It's going to be 21 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, I'm misspeaking. 12 degrees Celsius at the moment in the morning here, but by the afternoon, it'll reach 21 degrees Celsius. So that is 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and very nice. It is it's the spring in Santiago in Chile, and according to what I looked at online, they recommend that this is one of the two best times of year to visit because it's so nice, and I can see why. So it's on the list. Hope to get down there at some point. Anyone been to Chile? If you have, I'd love to know what your experience was like. Drop a note and let us know. What do you recommend? What do we eat? Where do we go? What's the best thing to do there? All right. So I had some great just connections in Japan while I was there. I was there for some business reasons, but I got to see a few people, not everybody. I mean, it was pretty tight, and it's always hard. I posted a picture online, and some other folks I've known for gosh, almost 30 years now, were like, oh, you didn't let us know beforehand that you were coming. And it's always that conundrum of, do I let people know I'm coming when I have no ability to see them? My default has always been no, just out of kindness. But I guess the flip side of it, it's nice that people want to see you, And so I'm just diving into the love. And in the past, I might have felt, like obligated to fix it somehow, but I'm not. I mean, I just, we all do the best we can. And so I said, next time we'll make an arrangement. So a bounty of friendships. That is truly one of the greatest things in life. But one of my old work colleagues that I met up with, we just had a really meaningful chat. He's a great entrepreneur. He's building an online retail business that's going internationally. They're selling magnesium products and doing really well. And it's been amazing to see his stick-to-itiveness and creativity, and most of all, what he has gotten through so many different difficulties is this. His name is Nathan. Nathan never stops learning. He keeps, trying to learn new things, and he's applying it to his business. And it's really just inspiring to see how if we're learning, we have a chance. If we're not learning, we don't have much chance, because especially now, there's just so much volatility and change constantly that learning's where it's at. So that was really exciting. But in our conversation, I don't know even how this came up, but I thought, this is perfect to share with you. And that is, I was reminded of how many phrases make it into our lexicon, our daily discussion, and our mindset that are based kind of on BS. I mean, or that phrases that meant one thing and then kind of morph into another meaning that's completely counter to it. And the one that came up in our conversation was the term, and I know you've heard of it, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Now, in American culture and in a lot of Western cultures, this has become kind of a phrase that comes to mean, do something yourself. It's sort of self-reliance and resilience kind of packaged into one. And so we say, just things are going rough. Hey, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and keep going. But, and I don't know why, because it's kind of obvious on its face, but it's an idiom that, and I looked it up because we were talking about it, and originated in 19th century United States to describe originally an impossible or absurd task, because it is not possible to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. That was the point. So the original meaning, it was used to describe something that is physically impossible, like lifting oneself by one's bootstraps. The absurdity of it is that it's rooted in the idea of attempting something ridiculous or a ludicrously far-fetched goal. And according to, when I Googled it, there may be a Baron Munchausen connection, that some attribute the phrase to the German story of Baron Munchausen, who pulls himself out of a swamp by his own hair, although the exact reference to bootstraps is not found in the story. Somewhere in the 20th century, 1900s, the meaning of the phrase evolved to meaning, the ability to achieve something through, very strenuous personal effort. And it's really a ridiculous phrase. And as is sort of some of the ideology that goes behind it, if you haven't figured it out by now, I mean, there are forces that are larger than any of us individually that are controlling a great many things. And so there's a lot that you can't pull yourself back up from. What I'm finding is that the key is not to worry about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps when things are tough. The key is understanding what it is that I can actually do. What are my choices really? And what are my priorities in attempting those? And which ones should I choose? It's really the serenity prayer, right? Give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. You have to see what they are first. Change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so that's a far better tool for me than something like pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Because when I hear that phrase, all I think is try harder. And I don't know about you, but trying harder to do something that has too many things in it that you can't control that are going against you is not going to lead to success. And I think goes straight to the original meaning of pull yourself up by the bootstraps, which means it's an absurd and impossible task. All right. So I'm not saying we don't try things that are really hard where we don't know the path forward. But the two things that I'm really reflecting on are we've got a lot of things built into our the idioms and the phrases and the language that we use, that many of us use, not everybody, but ones I'm very familiar with, that really send the wrong message, or at least an incomplete message. And that to Nathan, my friend Nathan's learning, it's all about the path of learning. The outcome is secondary or third. It really is about, am I in high growth in terms of learning? And when I'm in learning, I'm in growth, and the outcomes will tend to be better. They may not be on the timeline I want, but the ultimate outcome will be better. So I hope that's inspiring to you. What does that phrase mean to you? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Have you heard it? Do you use it? What comes up for you around that? I'd love to know. Hit the share or hit the comments on Substack and share. We've got a couple comments that have been nice and even useful. And so I appreciate that. We've got a small but mighty following of people. And so I'm looking forward to growing that in the coming weeks and months. In the meantime, I'm going to keep learning, growing, and connecting. Be good to yourself and others. We'll check in again very soon. And by soon, I mean tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.